I mean to kind of do this for you guys. If y'all like it or not, may do more. If you don't like it, won't do any more. The kind of break down the league as it's looking today and see how we how this is coming along. I'm trying to figure out how to do this thing so you can see it. Come on, load up. The first half is over with already, and people chugging right along through the second half. It's not showing. Hang on, still fighting technical issues here. Anyway, so yeah, as we're at the break, just over the break here, we got Brad's up in first place with a 30-6 record. We got BJ right behind him with a 36-14 record. We got Kelbot 29-10. Got Billy Joe at 32-15. We got Bob at 33-17. We got Dale at 20-13. Dale's gaining a little ground there. We got Troy at 22-17. And we got Dean down there at 11-18. He's got some ground he's got to make up. Here we go. I'm going to share this so y'all can get it. Hold on one second, man. And we'll have all this kind of fixed in just a second. Let's see. Getting close. Right here. So it should be live. All right. Sorry. And then we got all the computer teams kind of filling the blanks down the rest of the way. As we're speaking, it looks like Dale is playing the Crocodons right now. And that could go either way, man. These computer teams are pretty tough. There ain't no more easy games, it seems to be. But kind of looking, let's kind of go down through let's start down here with Dean. We're going to start with Dean first of all. Dean's at 11 and forgot. Dean is at 11-18. And if you look at his game history, his ego has been stuck in that 50 mark. At 55, 56, man. And I'm going to tell you, Dean should not be at 55, 56 with his record. He should be a little lower now. He should probably be mid 40s, mid to upper 40s. Somehow or another, he is stuck in that ego. And I'm going to tell you, that's a tough ego because it's not going to let up. You know, he's going to find games he can win. He's going to find games he's not going to win. That computer is going to take some regardless, it seems like. But, yeah, he's got a lot of ground to make up. And the thing is, as he wins to make it up, is that ego's going to go up. So Dean's got a tough hoe ahead of him, but we definitely pull him for him. At least beat out the computer. That's the main thing. If you can beat the computer, you got a shot against the human people, I think. I think that ego really is determines how that computer is going to play against you. So our next one up, we're going to go back to that dude. There's a dog outside barking, but I'm going to tell you right now, boy. Let's go over here to Troy. So Troy's sitting over here at 22-17. And he's definitely played better this season than I thought he was going to do, being in his first season in the league. He's done pretty well. And let's see here. As you can see, he's done pretty. He started out with some win-loss, win-win-win loss. So he started out right there around that 40 level, 45. And he's staying around that 40 level. And he's won some, lost some, played some good ball. But he's got a long road ahead of him, too, to probably be what I could say a contender at this point. Again, it goes back. You got to beat the computer teams and then beat some of these human teams. And the Bears, with the worst uniforms in the league, by far. The thing is, they're free, Troy. They're free. Just letting you know, the uniforms are free. And, yeah, I wish you could go in and see everybody's stats, but it doesn't let you do that. We're going to back out over here. Let's go down to Dale. Dale, who's in the game right now, playing the Crocodons, I believe. At one time, man, you could actually, whenever somebody was playing a game, at one point, and it might be on PlayStation, the PS Super Mega 3, it would tell you the scores of games while they were playing in the bottom corner. It was just like a little window, and you could see what their score was. If it's on here, I'm missing it or somehow or another. But Dale's another one that's still really right in the thick of things. If he could get on a streak, he's got a chance to move up in this league. But Dale has these Dale moments, man. He can play you as good as he can, and it's like the next moment, like he said last night, he's one big thumb. If you look over here at Dale's streak, his games, let's see let's see how he's looking over here. Kind of go backwards here. Again, if you look over here on the far right where the notes are, win, loss, loss, win, loss, win, loss. He's kind of puts it together, then he kind of loses it. Let's see how he does it. He's two. If you look at like the Jacks game, beat the Jacks. Jacks can be tough. Over here he lost to Billy Joe, 6-3. Over here he beats the Jacks. He loses to BJ, 6-4, and then loses 5-4. But he beats out the Salty twice, and he beats out beats Platypie once, and then loses to Platypie. And he comes over here and he beats BJ. No, I'm sorry, Bob. He beats Bob. And then he comes over here, beats Bob, beats Beer, beats the Boomers, loses to the Boomers, beats Beer, and he loses 2 times to the Thrillers. So as we know, Dale can be as good as he wants to be, but sometimes Dale's biggest enemy is Dale. But so then we come over here to Bob. Bob's team has been super aggressive against the computer teams. It seems to be. He gets in the games and just kind of go backwards. We won't do the whole thing. Just kind of give you an idea. He gets up here and plays the Bulldogs and loses 5-2. Prior to that game, he lost 15-4. Comes over here and beats the Thrillers twice in convincing style. Comes over here and beats the tar out of the Jacks twice. And then he comes over here and beats the Salties to death twice. Comes over here and beats the Platypie twice badly. Then he comes over here and loses to the Hot Corners, then beats the Hot Corners. So he's been kind of dominant. If you see, he's just dominating the computers. The human teams seem to be getting the best of Bob, and that could be his downfall right now. But that's the way you got to get back into this, is when they beat the computers to gain ground, because they as you get back, as your ego goes up, they get a little tougher. So Bob is gaining ground, but it's gonna probably, I don't know if it's gonna be enough. 17 losses, that's gonna be a lot to ask for at this point. Yeah, I think he's gonna hurt himself here. Billy Joe and Bob are kind of in the same boat. Let's see here. Game history, Billy Joe. Looking over here at your here you go. For example, you beat the tar out of Thrillers, beat the tar out of Thrillers, beat the tar out of the Jacks. Jacks beat Billy Joe. Billy kills the Boomers twice. Then he comes over and plays Brad, loses 6-4. Got to win that game. Brad is way too far ahead. Those Braves are tough. Comes over here and beats Dale, but he gets skunked by, I think that's the Mashawville Bulldogs, as posing as the Grinches. Yep, that's the Grinches. And then he beat the Crocodons, and he lost to the Crocodons. Then he got clobbered by BJ, 10-0. So yeah, Billy Joe seems to kind of feast and famine on some of these teams, but again, he's kind of in the same boat with Bob. I'd like to see him win more of the computer games. And then we come up to Kelbot, who's in third. Game history. All right. Kelbot is kind of hit and miss too. If you look, one thing that's highly apparent, I don't score a lot of runs, and all my games are close for the most part. I beat Bob's, then I kill Bob. But then when you play the computer, I lose 9-8. I won 5-4. I did beat the Hot Corners 10-5, that was a big win. But prior to that, they beat me 7-6. Or no, I did beat them twice. Okay, I thought I lost one of them. Okay, but it was a close game, 7-6. Then I come over here and I killed the Sox. And then the Crocodons killed me. And then I blanked the Crocodons. Then me and the Tide fought, though. That was two good games. They were boring. I will tell you, those were two boring games. But it was 3-1 and 3-1. So and that's the thing about the Tide. The Tide can play. The Tide can play. But their ego is going to be their snafu, I believe. Then to come over here and you got some close games with the who was that? Platypi. Close game with the Hot Corners. Hot Corners beat the tar out of me. Close game with the Boomers. Close game with the Boomers. And that's the story of my team. Just close game after close game. 6-4, 4-1, 3-2, 4-3, 5-0, 6-0. I got beat 6-0, 1-5-0. Then I got clobbered by the Jacks, man, at 13-4. Close game. Clobbered Bob. That might have been on the first half of the season. I can't remember. Anyway, that's kind of a rundown of the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs have made some changes. They realized that the setup they had was probably not going to get them to the championship. So they kind of did a risk reward to see if they could gain some ground. Not sure if it's really truly working. It ain't killed us, but we're just not gaining any ground really on the Braves. Now we step up to the War Party. War Party is another one. Killing the baseball. Flat out hammering home runs like you wouldn't believe, left and right, but still struggling to put teams away. You know, them losses to the computer start adding up. Any loss to a human, let's see here. You got this was an upset right here. No, right there. 2-1 against the who was that? Troy. Should not have lost that game, but he did. Comes over here and beats them back. But every now and then he blows one team out, comes back, but then he gets blown out by the Thrillers and the Platypi. Played them well. They come over here and got beat by he got one of those. He lost to the Boomers, and he took another loss to the Sawteeth. And again, BJ and really the Bulldogs and the War Party's kind of in the same boat. I just think the War Party is a better hitting team than the Bulldogs are. And but the War Party's really been the team. We thought we're going to be the team to win this thing. I don't see it in them anymore. They got a long road ahead of them, man. It's gonna be hard to gain ground on Brad. And Brad's team sitting out here at 30-6. Think about that, guys. He's played 36 games. Of those 6 games, here you got to keep this in mind. This is really you got to pay attention. We're going to analyze Brad's losses. All right, so his losses. If we look back, I think he's on a 9 or 10 game winning streak right now. I think he's on a 9 or 10 game winning streak. His last loss was an 8-2 loss to the Originators. So that's one of his 6 losses. One. The rest of those are wins against the computer. And the computer is who we need to win some of them, and it ain't happening. That's not good. Come down here to his next loss. So that's one loss. His next loss was to Kelbot. That goes back to the first half of the season, I believe. So that puts him with 2 losses, one against the computer and one against the human. Had a bunch of winning streaks right here. His next loss, then here's where he was hurting. Then he lost 3 in a row here. He lost 2-1 to the War Pigs. Then he lost 5-4 to the War Party. And then he lost to the Jacks. So Kelbot's got 1 loss. BJ's got 2. So 3 of his losses came to humans. 2 so far came to the computer. And then Dale snatched another loss. So that right there tells you, of his 6 losses, 3 of them were to humans. It should be 4. 4 were to humans. So that right there tells you, us humans have got to beat Brad when we get our chance. And that's where it kind of ends. You know, Brad's got a good chance to run this out now at this point. His ego's kind of on his side, and he's in a good mood. He's got probably the best pitching team in the league. I wouldn't say that he's a killer hitting team, but He does enough to win, and with a stellar pitching, they're going to be hard to beat. So, with that said, we that's about all I got for the thing on here. I think it's been a pretty good. How did I get out of here? It's been a good league, man. I really think that the ego really changed the game, made it a lot better than it was. You know, really like that. I like the 9 inning games. It brings a lot of stuff into play. The Some people don't use the relief. I use my relief a lot, and sometimes it hurts, sometimes it helps. But yeah, the home runs, man. I mean, BJ's killing the home run in the league. I think I got about 82 now, 80 something, about 80 something home runs. But the uh, some ideas, man, maybe to kick around, maybe for the end of the season. You know, coming into the next season. Maybe we have a random draw, like there's like 25 players. If you kind of think it's 25 or 22, whatever it is. Maybe you do a dice and you lose 3 players. You know, you just lose them and you just make 3 new players. But that'd be one thing to do, an idea. Or we re-roll your traits. And yeah, I don't know, just some ideas to kick around. But yeah, it's been a good league. I like to see me win it. I think to me, really, this has been the first season the first season was cool and the second season was cool. But this right here, this seems to be like the best routes to me. In a way, this is kind of the season 1, but I don't know. It's pretty nice the way we got it set up. You know, if we wanted to get more people, we could always do that. You guys tell me what y'all want to do. I can definitely go recruit some more people. But yeah, man, it's been fun. We really need everybody to step up and beat these computer teams, and some people's got to knock Brad off. I mean, that's all there is to it, and that's it in a nutshell. Because a lot of y'all are running out of games. I already know that. I think BJ is already done with the computers. I think Bob's done with the computers. Billy Joe might be done with the computers. Dale, I see, just won another game, so he's cut down another game on it. So he was 23. He's 21, so he's not just knocked off the Crocodiles. So I need y'all to win some of these games, man. And let me win a couple would be nice too. That'd be sweet. Yeah, man. Anyway, that's just kind of a rundown. I was going to do this a couple days ago, man, but I forgot all about it and thought about it today, and I said I'll do it. And so, any questions? Let me know. Enjoy. Bye bye. I don't know how to turn this off now. No, not yet. Broadcast. Pause broadcast. Stop broadcast. Do you want to stop?